Crash course in chaos. The spaceship Orion 7 moved smoothly through space, stars blinking like city lights in the dark sky. Inside, Captain Ray leaned back in his seat, feeling relaxed for the first time in days. His co-pilot, the alien woman named Zara, sat next to him, silently checking the data on the screen. Zara was not like any other alien. Her skin was silver blue, her eyes glowed softly like moonlight, and her voice was calm and soft, but her mood could change faster than a meteor. "Strike. Everything looks good," Ray said, stretching his arms. Finally, a quiet day in space. Zara didn't respond. She was always quiet, always focused. Ray didn't mind. In fact, he liked working with her. She was smart, fast, and always knew what to do, unless she got angry. To break the silence, Ray smiled and said, "You know, Zara, you kind of remind me of someone back on Earth." Her name was Layla. She was a tech genius, too. Zara's fingers froze over the screen. Ray didn't notice, and she used to fix everything. One time she even repaired a broken satellite with just crack. Zara suddenly slammed her hand into the control panel. Sparks flew. Alarms started to beep. The lights flickered. "What the? Zara, what are you doing?" Ray jumped from his seat. The ship shook violently. Zara didn't answer right away. Her glowing eyes were fixed on Ray, cold and sharp. "You spoke her name," she said softly. "That was your mistake." Ray stared at her like she'd lost her alien mind. "Are you serious? I just mentioned someone. It was a memory." Zara stood up slowly. "In my world, when someone bonds, they don't speak of others." "Bond? What bond? We're co-workers," Ray shouted, trying to reboot the control panel. But it was too late. The ship gave a loud boom as the main engine shut down. "Warning," the system said in a robotic voice. "Main engine failure. Gravity pull detected. Entering planet atmosphere." Ray turned to Zara, completely shocked. "You broke the control panel just because I said another girl's name?" Zara tilted her head. "You said it with a smile." Ray's jaw dropped. Outside the window, a large green planet was coming closer, fast. Flames started appearing around the ship as they entered the atmosphere. "Strap in. We're crashing," Ray shouted, pulling Zara into a seat and locking her belt. The ship shook like crazy. Metal groaned. Screens cracked. The front shield melted, slightly from the heat. Ray grabbed the joystick, trying to control the fall. "Brace for impact," he yelled. The ship hit the ground with a loud crash. Dust and fire flew everywhere. Trees broke. A small crater formed under the broken spaceship. Silence. A few moments later, Ray coughed and opened his eyes. Smoke filled the room. He unbuckled and looked around. "Zara? You okay?" She was already standing, brushing dust off her suit like nothing happened. "We landed," she said. "We crashed," Ray corrected, coughing again. "And in case you forgot, it's because you broke the control panel." Zara blinked. "You broke my trust." Ray stared at her. "You're unbelievable." He looked around. The outside screen showed a strange jungle, purple trees, glowing plants, and something moving in the shadows. "We're on some unknown planet. System is dead. Communications down. Oxygen is limited. Food's gone. And I'm stuck with a jealous alien who thinks talking about Layla is a crime." Zara stepped toward the exit hatch. "It is." She opened the door. A strange warm wind hit Ray's face. The sounds of unknown creatures echoed outside. Ray stood there, still in shock. "I can't believe this." Zara turned and looked at him one last time. "Next time, don't speak of Layla." She stepped outside. Ray followed, mumbling under his breath. "Next time, I'm flying solo." Behind them, the ship gave one final beep and went completely silent. Planet Problems Captain Ray had crash-landed before, once on Mars, once on Jupiter's moon. But this was something else. As he stepped out of the broken ship, purple fog brushed against his boots. The sky above was orange, The trees glowed blue and the air felt heavier than it should. Zara was already 10 steps ahead, walking calmly like she owned the place. Ray followed, scanning the area. So, just another casual stroll through a radioactive alien jungle? This is your idea of a second date? Zara didn't answer. She just kept walking. Ray sighed. Fantastic. Stuck on an alien planet with an emotionally unstable alien. What could go wrong? Suddenly a sharp sound sliced through the air, a high-pitched screech almost mechanical. Birds? Machines? Monsters? Ray didn't know, but it wasn't friendly. Did you hear that? He asked, slowing his steps. Zara paused. Her glowing eyes scanned the trees. Something is watching us. Ray swallowed. You sound way too calm about that. They kept moving, pushing through thick vines and glowing plants that pulsed like they were alive. The jungle floor was soft, like walking on foam. Every few minutes, strange things moved in the shadows, slithering, twitching, vanishing. Ray tapped his scanner. Nothing. Static. No signal, no oxygen reading, no life form data. Either this planet is too advanced, or it's messing with us. Zara suddenly stopped. What now? Ray asked. She raised one finger. Listen. Ray held his breath. There it was again. The same sound as before, but closer. This time it didn't come alone. Static. From nowhere, their communicator sparked to life. A broken voice crackled through the signal. Zara, is that you? Ray jumped. What the hell? Is that your name? Zara stared at the comm device like she'd seen a ghost. No. It can't be, she whispered. Who is it? Ray demanded. A rescue team? Another alien? Zara turned slowly toward him. It's someone I left behind. Ray blinked. Wait. Left behind where? Here? As in, on this planet? Before Zara could answer, a loud mechanical roar echoed through the jungle. The trees shook. Something heavy was coming, and fast. Zara grabbed Ray's arm. Run! They sprinted through the jungle. Strange glowing bugs flew past them. One tree suddenly moved, revealing it wasn't a tree at all. It was some sort of living creature, half plant, half machine. Ray shouted, What kind of botanical horror movie is this? Zara didn't reply. She was focused, pulling Ray with surprising strength until they reached a large cave, hidden behind a waterfall that shimmered like glass. They slipped inside just before the jungle behind them exploded with sound. Inside, it was cool and quiet. Ray's breaths were sharp and fast. Okay, he gasped. I want answers now. Zara didn't speak. Ray stepped in front of her. Talk, Zara. Who was that voice? What did he mean by your name? What else are you hiding from me? She looked at him, and for the first time her confident face looked scared. That voice, it belonged to someone from my past. A mission long before I met you. We came to this planet for research, but he didn't want to leave. Ray frowned. Wait, he? So there's another alien like you out here? One who doesn't like humans? Zara nodded. And if he's still alive, he's dangerous. He knows how to use the planet's tech. And if he knows I'm here, he won't let us leave. Ray stared at her. So we're not just stranded. We're hunted. Suddenly, lights flickered deep inside the cave. A hidden door opened with a mechanical hiss. Blue lights lit a path leading deeper into darkness. Zara took a step forward. Ray grabbed her shoulder. You're not thinking of going in there, are you? Zara turned her head slightly. I have to. Ray shook his head. We don't even know what's in there. She looked at him with a calm face. That's exactly why we have to go. Ray groaned. Great. First, a broken ship. Then a jealous alien. Now, an ex-boyfriend from a horror movie planet. Together they stepped into the darkness. The door closed behind them with a loud clunk. Behind the cave wall, a glowing red eye watched them. Truth and trouble. The tunnel inside the cave was dark, cold, and way too quiet. Ray walked slowly, his flashlight barely cutting through the thick air. The walls were made of some black stone that pulsed softly, like it was alive. His boots echoed on the floor. Behind him, Zara walked with perfect calm, like she'd been here before. Ray looked back. This place is giving me serious murder basement vibes. Zara didn't laugh, she didn't even smile. Ray narrowed his eyes. Okay, seriously now. We need to talk. Zara didn't stop walking. We're being watched. Ray raised an eyebrow. Yeah, I got that from the creepy blinking eye on the wall. No, she said. Not just watched. Studied. Ray stopped. What does that even mean? Before she could answer, the path suddenly opened into a large underground room. Massive glowing screens filled the walls, showing strange alien symbols and shifting maps of the planet. In the center of the room stood a pod, a huge glass container filled with blue liquid. Inside floated something. Ray stepped forward slowly. What is that? Zara's voice dropped to a whisper. It's him. Ray turned to her, confused. Your ex? Zara nodded. Inside, the pod floated a tall alien, like Zara, but darker in color with scars across his face. His eyes were closed, but they twitched. He was alive, dreaming, or maybe listening. This is messed up, Ray muttered. Why is he in a tube? Zara looked at the control panel next to the pod. He did this to himself. After we crashed here, he refused to leave. He believed this planet was alive, that it chose him. He called it a second brain. Ray shivered. So, he plugged himself into the planet? Zara nodded. And now, he is the planet. Before Ray could respond, one of the screens flickered. A deep voice echoed through the room, raspy, slow, but sharp like broken glass. Zara, you came back. Ray spun around. Okay, nope, I'm out. That thing just talked. The pod started to glow. The creature inside twitched again. I waited, the voice said. You left me. For him. Ray blinked. Wait, me? Oh no. I didn't sign up for alien soap opera. Zara stared at the pod, unmoving. I didn't come for you. Yes, the voice hissed. You came to forget me, Ray whispered. This guy's obsessed, like ex-boyfriend/Sith Lord obsessed. Suddenly alarms blared. The room turned red. The pod began to drain its liquid. Ray panicked. Zara, what's happening? He's waking up, she said flatly. Waking up? I thought this was a science mission, not Jurassic Park. The ground shook. Cracks formed on the pod glass. Zara moved to the control panel, typing rapidly in her native alien language. I can stop it, but I need time. Great, Ray muttered, pulling out his blaster. Buy you time. Got it. Before he could even blink, metal tentacles dropped from the ceiling, long, sharp, and moving like snakes. They weren't real metal. They were grown from the walls, alive, breathing. Ray fired. Zara shouted. Sparks flew. One tentacle grabbed Ray's arm, pulling him toward the wall. Zara! She hit a button. The tentacle shivered and released him. He dropped to the floor, breathing hard. I hate this planet, he wheezed. Then don't let it kill you, Zara replied calmly, still typing. Suddenly the pod exploded. Ray ducked. Zara froze. Out of the smoke stepped the figure from the pod. Now fully awake, his skin flickered like static. His voice came from the walls, from the air, from inside their heads. You left me, Zara. For him. For this weak, loud, smiling human. Ray raised his hand. Okay, first of all, I'm charming. Second, who are you calling weak? The alien, Zara's ex, apparently now a full-blown biomechanical horror being, tilted his head. I see your thoughts. I see your fear. Ray snapped. Then see this. He fired the blaster. It passed right through. The alien wasn't fully solid. He was part of the cave, part of the planet. Ray stumbled backward. We're in his body? This whole place is him? Zara looked at Ray with sudden panic in her eyes. We need to leave now. No argument there. They ran back through the tunnel. The walls began to shift behind them, closing, changing, whispering things in languages Ray didn't understand. As they reached the exit, Zara stopped. Let us go, Ray panted. Why? Why not kill us? Zara looked into the jungle. Because now, he knows what scares us. Ray was silent for a moment. Then he said, Cool. Great. Amazing. So, your ex is a psychic cave ghost who wants me dead because I smiled too much? Zara didn't respond. Ray turned to her slowly. There's more you're not telling me, isn't there? Zara looked away. In the distance, a red light blinked high in the trees, watching them, recording them, waiting. Alien X's and hidden bases. The planet never really slept. Even at night, its trees glowed. The wind hummed like distant machines. The jungle whispered secrets that weren't meant for human ears. Ray and Zara had built a fire beside a half-dead stream, using scraps from the ship's survival kit. Ray sat with his blaster across his lap, eyes scanning the jungle. Zara didn't blink. She sat completely still, staring at nothing. Okay, Ray said finally. Time to stop pretending everything's fine, because newsflash, it's not. Your ex-boyfriend is now a psychic cave ghost planet demon who wants to kill me. So unless this is some kind of twisted alien romance game show, I need answers. Zara turned slowly. You think I planned this? I think you're hiding. A lot. Starting with, what exactly happened on your last mission? Zara looked into the fire. He was my first partner. His name was Kale. We were sent here to study the planet. But he found something. Something ancient. A hidden base. He called it a mind core. Said it was the heart of the planet. Ray leaned in. What kind of heart are we talking? Biological? Mechanical? Both, she replied. It's a living system, half organic, half AI. It connects everything. The weather, the trees, the creatures. Even the thoughts, Ray shivered. And he plugged himself into it? Zara nodded. He wanted to become one with it. Said it was the next step of evolution. Yikes, Ray muttered. That's not evolution. That's alien madness. Zara didn't respond. Ray sighed. So where's this base now? Zara stood. Follow me. The base they hiked through the jungle for an hour, dodging glowing vines and metallic roots that pulsed like veins. Then, without warning, Zara stopped and tapped the ground with her foot. A humming sound filled the air. The ground opened. A staircase of light descended into darkness. Ray blinked. You've got to be kidding me. They stepped down into what looked like a facility built into the planet's crust. Alien tech mixed with natural rock. The walls had veins of glowing energy running through them. It was cold but alive. Ray stared around, wide-eyed. This is next-level creepy. I feel like we just stepped into a giant alien brain. You're not wrong, Zara said quietly. They entered a large chamber. It was filled with floating memory spheres, each pulsing with light. When Ray touched one, it lit up and played a scene. Kale and Zara, laughing, working, holding hands. Ray quickly pulled back. Whoa. Nope, I'm not watching your relationship highlights. Zara looked away. This place stores memories, thoughts, emotions. Kyle's mind is still part of it. Ray looked around. You brought me here. Why? Zara walked to a console and activated a screen. A map appeared showing multiple red lights blinking across the planet. These are his extensions, she said. Parts of him spread out, growing. Ray swallowed. He's turning the whole planet into himself. Zara nodded. And one of those lights is moving. Ray looked closer. One red light was blinking faster than the rest. Getting closer. Heading directly toward them. Okay, Ray said. So what do we do? Blow it up? Zara shook her head. We can't destroy him, not yet. We need to find the original mind core, the central node where he started the transformation. If we disconnect it, we might still save him. Ray stared at her. Save him? You still care about him? Zara didn't answer. Ray stepped back. Are you seriously thinking about rescuing your evil alien ex who wants to erase my brain and wear the planet like a suit? Zara looked up. He wasn't always like this. I caused this. Ray exploded. No, he chose this. He chose obsession, madness. You didn't make him do that. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The base trembled. Ray grabbed the wall. Tell me that's not what I think it is. Zara's face turned pale. He's here. From the tunnel behind them came a sound like metal grinding against metal, then a voice. I see you found our old home. Ray aimed his blaster. Step 1, I shoot him. Step 2, we run. But when the figure appeared, it wasn't Kale. It was a clone. A half-formed version, skin patchy, wires sticking out. Its eyes glowed red. Ray fired. The clone dodged. Zara kicked it to the ground, slamming a pulse device on its chest. Boom. The clone melted. Ray stood over it, panting. Okay, I need new pants. Zara walked over and picked up a small device from the clone's chest. A tracker. The signal was still active. He's watching us, she said. He sent a decoy. He's playing games. Ray looked around. And we're standing in his old love shack, surrounded by his brain. This just keeps getting better. Zara looked at Ray. We have to move fast. The real core is at the center of the planet, and if we don't reach it first, Ray finished her sentence. He'll upload himself into every living thing. Zara nodded. Ray's face went dark. Okay, no more running, no more memory bubbles. Let's go destroy your ex-boyfriend's evil Wi-Fi. As they left the base, a camera hidden in the wall turned, and far away, Kale smiled. Tensions and traps. Ray had never felt so tired in his life. He was running on less than 30% oxygen, 2 protein bars, and 1 completely shattered trust in aliens. They moved through the jungle in silence, heading toward the coordinates Zara had taken from the clone. Somewhere deep under the surface, the original mind core waited, and so did Kale. Ray walked a few steps behind Zara, blaster in hand, always watching her. She noticed. You're quiet, she said. Ray replied flatly. I'm just thinking. About what? He stopped walking. About how I'm trusting someone who hasn't told me the full truth once since this mission started. Zara turned slowly. I told you everything you needed to know. Ray shook his head. No. You told me just enough to keep me walking. Next to you. Zara's face showed no emotion, but her voice softened. We don't have time for this. Ray stepped closer. Make time. Right now. Tell me the real reason you brought me here. You said we were just on a mission, but this isn't a mission anymore. This is personal. Zara's glowing eyes flickered. I didn't plan for this, she said. But you're right. There's more. She paused, like she was choosing, her words carefully. Kyle and I, we didn't just crash here. We didn't just find the mind core. He was sent to merge with it. Ray's eyes widened. What do you mean sent? He was an experiment, Zara said. My people wanted to know if a living being could bond with the planet. Kyle volunteered. Ray was stunned. So you knew all along what he was becoming? Zara nodded. Yes, but I didn't expect him to change so much to become something else. Ray backed away. So why bring me here? Was I the next volunteer? The backup experiment? No, she said quickly. You were my escape plan. Ray's face went cold. Before he could say anything else, the ground beneath them exploded. Metal arms shot out from the soil, grabbing Ray's legs and dragging him underground. Ray! Zara screamed, diving after him. But she was too late. The trap. Ray woke up hanging upside down in a glowing chamber, His blaster was gone. His legs were tied in some kind of organic webbing. His head throbbed. Across the room, Zara was also captured. Arms restrained. Her face full of rage. In front of them stood Kale. Not a clone. The real one. He looked different now. Taller, more shadow than body, with wires running through his skin and energy flowing through his veins. Kale smiled. Reunited, Ray spat. You've got issues, buddy. Kale ignored him. You know what the problem with humans is, Ray? You think emotion is weakness, but it's power. It drives us, changes us, Zara growled. You lost yourself. Kale tilted his head. No, Zara. I found myself. I became something better, something eternal. Ray squirmed. So what now? You're gonna brainwash us? Copy us? Turn us into alien USB sticks? Kale walked over to Ray. You were never the target. You were bait. Ray blinked. Wait, bait for what? Kale turned to Zara. For her. Zara froze. Kyle stepped closer to her. You were always the one I needed. I couldn't bond with the planet fully. I was missing something. A second key. A matching mind. Ray's jaw dropped. She's the password? Kale placed a glowing hand on Zara's forehead. No. She yelled, struggling. Suddenly the room was filled with light, data, memories, emotions. Everything Zara had, her pain, her guilt, her feelings for Ray, were pulled into Kale's system. Ray screamed, pulling hard. Let her go, he grabbed a sharp piece of metal from the ground and sliced his bindings. He ran toward Kale. Too late. Kale finished the upload. Zara collapsed. Kale turned. You're too late, Ray. She's mine now. Mind, body, and soul. Ray charged him. Kale grabbed Ray by the throat and lifted him off the ground. You're weak, he said. You're scared. You don't belong in this world. Ray gasped, choking. His vision blurred. Then, flash. Zara's hand moved. Her eyes opened, glowing white. She stood up slowly. No, she said. Kale turned, confused. What? Zara raised her hand. Energy burst from her palm, blasting Kale across the chamber. Ray dropped to the ground, coughing. Zara stepped forward. Her voice was deeper now. Changed. You took my memories, she said, but you forgot my will. Kale stood up, trembling. That's not possible. Ray stared in shock. Zara? What just happened? She looked at him. Her eyes were still glowing. I took it back, and now I know where the mind core is. We can stop him. But, Ray asked, are you still you? Zara looked down at her hands. I don't know. Rescue or revenge. The air was different now. The jungle, once humming with life, had gone quiet, like it was holding its breath. Ray watched Zara from a distance as she stood on a hill, eyes glowing faintly, skin flickering between her normal blue-silver and something brighter. Something not entirely her. They hadn't spoken much since escaping Kale's trap. He wanted to ask if she was okay, but what do you even say to someone who just absorbed part of her psychic ex-boyfriend's mind? You're staring, Zara said without turning. Ray crossed his arms. Hard not to. You're glowing. You used to just threaten to kill me with sarcasm. Now you could probably melt a spaceship with your face. Zara didn't smile. I feel everything, she whispered. His thoughts, his pain, his plan, and mine. Ray stepped closer, cautiously. Which one are you listening to? Zara looked at him, her eyes glowing like white fire. I don't know. The final coordinates using the data burned into her mind. Zara led Ray through a maze of jungle caves, underground tunnels, and ancient ruins that predated even her species. This planet, she explained, was not made naturally. It's artificial, like a living lab. Ray blinked. You're telling me the whole planet is basically one giant alien science project? Yes, she replied. And Kale wants to turn it into his personal empire. At the heart of it all was the mind core, The original node of control. If they could destroy it, Kale's influence would collapse. But there was a catch. It's protected, Zara said. By something old. Something not even Kale could fully understand. Ray shook his head. Fantastic. First your ex tries to possess you. Now there's a mystery monster guarding the alien brain tower. Anything not trying to kill us? Zara tilted her head. Maybe the plants. A vine wrapped around Ray's boot. He yanked it off. I stand corrected. The vault. They finally reached the core vault, a massive dome hidden deep underground. The entrance was carved with glowing symbols, shifting and rearranging themselves as Zara approached. The door opened. Inside, darkness, cold, silent, but in the center, it pulsed. The mind core. A giant floating crystal orb spinning slowly, humming like a deep heartbeat. Ray stepped forward, stunned. That thing is controlling the whole planet? Zara nodded. And Kale is almost fully connected to it. She reached for a control pad, fingers shaking. Ray grabbed her wrist. Wait. Are you sure you can do this? He's part of you now. You touch that thing and he might take full control. Zara looked at him. For a second, just a second. Fear flickered in her expression. I have to try. She touched the pad. The room exploded in light. Suddenly, Kale's voice filled the space. You really thought it would be that easy? Ray spun around. Kale's form appeared in the shadows. Larger, more powerful, crackling with energy. Thank you, Zara, he said. You brought me home. Zara gasped. No, I locked you out. Kale grinned. You opened the door, that's all I needed. The crystal pulsed. Zara dropped to her knees, clutching her head. Ray shouted, Zara! Kale raised a hand when vines shot from the walls, grabbing Ray, pinning him down. Now, Kale said, watch as I complete what we started. He placed his hand on the core. The planet began to shake. The internal war inside her mind, Zara, was falling through memories that weren't hers. Kale's childhood, his pain, his desire to be something more, his hatred of weakness, and then herself, her own regrets, her guilt for leaving him, her confusion about Ray. She saw two futures. In one, she joined Kale. Together, they ruled. In the other, she chose Ray. Fragile, stubborn, human, she reached out toward both, and then made her choice. The showdown. Zara's eyes burst open, glowing white-hot. She rose slowly, power radiating from her body. Kyle looked surprised. Impossible. She raised her hand. The vines around Ray melted instantly. Then she launched herself at Kyle. They collided in midair, a burst of light exploding around them. Ray watched, stunned, as two glowing figures battled above the core, throwing blasts of energy, crashing into the wall, sending shockwaves across the chamber. Kale screamed, You were mine! Zara shouted back, I'm not yours, I was never yours. With one final burst of power, she forced Kale into the crystal, trapping him inside. The orb cracked, the room began to collapse. Ray ran to Zara as she fell. Hey, stay with me. Zara blinked slowly. It's done. He's gone. Ray smiled. You saved the planet. Zara looked at him, eyes dimming. But I think I'm still part of it. Escape. The base crumbled. Ray carried Zara through falling rocks and rising smoke. They reached the surface just as the ground caved. In behind them, the jungle was waking up, brighter, lighter. The whispers were gone. Ray laid Zara down, checking her pulse. Still there, weak but steady. Zara opened one eye. I think I'm going to sleep for a few decades. Ray laughed. I'll wake you up in time for breakfast. She smiled faintly. Only if you promise not to say Layla's name ever again. Ray grinned. Deal. But as they looked toward the horizon, neither of them saw the faint blinking red light deep in the jungle. One last backup signal, still pulsing, still waiting. Love, loss, and launch. The sky was finally clear. No static in the wind. No whispers in the jungle. The red glow was gone from the trees and the planet seemed to exhale, as if the evil buried in its heart had been burned away. Ray sat near the crash site, legs crossed, eyes fixed on the repaired transmitter. It blinked green now. Functional. Stable. Zara lay nearby, resting on a makeshift bed of soft moss and cloth torn from their supplies. She hadn't spoken much since the battle. Not surprising. She'd faced her past, killed it, and might have lost a part of herself in the process. "Hey," Ray whispered, sitting beside her. "You awake?" Her eyes fluttered open. They were no longer glowing. No fire, no storm, just quiet, deep silver. "I am now," she whispered. Ray smiled. "Good. I was getting worried you'd ghost me like your evil ex." Zara chuckled weakly. "Too tired to haunt you." They sat in silence for a few moments, both looking at the jungle. "You saved the planet," Ray said. "You literally punched your old boyfriend into a psychic crystal. That's not normal, but kinda awesome." Zara nodded slowly. "I didn't do it alone." Ray turned serious. "Zara, after everything, do you still feel him, inside you?" She looked down at her hands. Some echoes, like background noise, but it's fading. Ray frowned. "And what about you? Are you fading?" Zara didn't answer immediately. Then she said, "I'm not the same. Kyle left a scar, and I used power that wasn't meant for me. I don't know what that means, yet." Ray reached for her hand. "It means you're still fighting. That's all that matters." Suddenly the transmitter beeped. Ray jumped up. "Yes, I got a signal, a real one." A voice crackled through. "This is Alliance Patrol Ship Horizon. We received your distress. Call, preparing landing, hold position." Zara sat up. "Rescue." Ray grinned. Finally, he looked at her. Time to go home. But her face changed. She wasn't smiling. "Ray, I don't think I can leave." Ray froze. "What? What do you mean?" Zara stood slowly. Her body still flickered slightly with leftover energy from the mind core. "I connected to this world, not just mentally, biologically. The planet recognizes me now. It listens. I think I've become a part of its system." Ray shook his head. "No, no way. We just went through hell to get out of this place." Zara looked at him, sadness in her voice. "If I leave, it might collapse again. The mind core will regrow. Without balance, Kale's code could return." Ray took a shaky breath. "You're telling me you have to stay to keep it alive?" Nodded. Silence. Birds chirped in the distance. Finally, Ray whispered, "That's not fair." "I know," Zara said. A few minutes later, the Alliance ship landed in a clearing nearby. Bright lights, loud engines. The rescue team rushed out with medkits, scanners, and stunned expressions at the wreckage. But Ray wasn't moving. He stood beside Zara, looking at the glowing trees. "I could stay too," he said quietly. Zara turned, surprised. "Ray, no, listen. I'm not saying I want to grow silver skin and connect to alien Wi-Fi, but I've never met anyone like you. Never felt anything like this. Maybe this planet gave me something I didn't know I needed." Zara stepped closer. "You'd really stay? With me?" Ray smiled. "Are you kidding? We've crashed together, fought brain clones together, and you've saved my life like 5 times. That's more bonding than most Earth marriages." Zara smirked. "You're still annoying, you know. And you're still terrifying," Ray said, squeezing her hand. 2 hours. Rescue team watched, confused, as Ray and Zara backed away from the ship. "Sir?" one officer called. "Are you not coming?" Ray looked back once, then said, "Tell command the mission's complete, the planet's stable, but this is home now." The team didn't understand, but they didn't stop him. Epilogue months. Later, a report is filed in the Alliance system. Subject, Planet Z9 Alpha. Status, stabilized inhabitants, 1 human, 1 hybrid alien. Communications, minimal. Private channel only. Security level, high. Note, planet shows signs of intelligent life, continues to evolve. Cut to, a glowing jungle. Ray and Zara walking side by side through new paths, strange lights guiding them. They're not just surviving. Anymore, they're living, but in the shadows and deep beneath the soil. A single spark flickers. Kale's code, dormant. For now.